Oh, what's going on, Facebook? I know my judges always to play some music every Monday as we do New Method Mondays. And if you don't know, I'm a Brooklyn girl. Thank you, sis. I saw that. This is like my Mama I Made It moment. That moment that is like my pinnacle success moment. I said this is the song that I'm going to play. I've always said it. Biggie is like my favorite. He's the greatest of all time, and I'll fight you if you want to fight me on that. So this is something I use. This is like my song. Like, this is my song. You know, you got that one song that it play. You like, that's my song. So I come from an era where hip hop was actually about lyrics and about content and skill, and not about no shade, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So welcome to New Method Mondays, guys. Welcome. I'm gonna let Facebook do what it do and send out alerts. I had a lot of notes today because I want to cover a lot of things on New Method Monday and how to find time to start working on your goals. So we're gonna let the Biggie rock for like maybe another 30 seconds. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. Shout out to Brooklyn. I know Brooklyn's in the house. Shout out to Brooklyn. Brooklyn, stand up. Will always be my first love and my first home. But I don't know if we could do Brooklyn forever, because I love Brooklyn. But gosh, sometimes you just need a break. Sometimes you just need to go and not come out. So brunches is refused by the food. I said I'm a fool because I dropped out of high school. As a black male misunderstood, and it's still all good. Oh, sing it. And if you don't know, now you know. All right, so I'm gonna cut it there. That was enough. That was 2 minutes of enough, right? So I told you I got a lot of notes today. So for those of you guys who aren't familiar with me and what I do every Monday or whenever I feel the Spirit of God telling me to minister or teach, is every Monday what I do is I come on here and I use this as a platform to teach, educate, and inspire, whether it be through personal development, faith building, or something to motivate your dreams and your goals. I'm founder and CEO of a wonderful organization called Embrace Her Legacy, which I consider the #1 personal development, faith building, and dream birthing spot for millennial women and girls. I offer different educational programs, different co-curricular programs that I work with high school girls, and then I have another offering that I work with millennial women girls where I teach online classes and online resources and just downloadable tools and resources, and a few other projects that I'm working on in the Embrace Her Legacy kitchen, literally to inspire, educate, and motivate the dreams and the faith of millennial women and girls. So, and I'm also a speaker and an author. The name of my book, I was just thinking that 2 years ago, this week, 2 years ago is when I got my first publishing deal. So I was just sharing that, and the name of my book is Take the Limits Off Your Legacy. If you guys are interested, it's still on Amazon and BarnesandNobles.com. So, let me jump right into it. So, one of the things I've realized the most in a lot of the women that I've worked with, either one-on-one or just in a classroom setting, is just that the one excuse that I always hear is, I don't have time to work on my goals, right? And I get it, right? Because between working, if you don't work for yourself, and if you're working gainfully employed by someone else, right? If you're working, if you're in school, if you have children, and then between that and then the Netflix and the Instagram and volunteering, going to church, all of that, it can be really crazy. It can feel like I don't have time to work on my goals. However, I want you to check out this study that I read in this audiobook, The Magic of Thinking Big, where it breaks down how, on average, we spend our hours on a weekly basis. So we have 168 hours per week, right? So according to this study, this is how on average, now this may not be how you do it. I'm not saying this is how your week goes, but on average, this is how much time, is allocated on a week by week basis. 50 hours a week at work, right? That includes commuting back and forth. 50 hours a week sleeping. 15 hours a week eating. I don't even think I spend that many hours a week eating, but 24 hours a week relaxing, eating, playing with kids, exercising, making love, all that jazz. And then an extra 4 hours a week for church or to watch a game or for your extracurricular activities. But if you were to add up those hours, that only equates to 144 hours. As I said, there's 168 hours in a week. So you have an entire 24 hours that were not accounted for after you done ate, after you done took a shower, after you done worked, after you done screamed at, your boyfriend, your husband, you done took care of kids, you went to church, you went to the movies, you caught up, you binged on episodes of Insecure, you snapped in chat, you took a few selfies, you went to the gym, all of that, and you still have 24 hours unaccounted for. And I read another study which I found extremely interesting that said that on average, we spend 6 hours a day watching television. The average American spends 6 hours a day watching television, and then another 3 hours a day on social media. I actually asked some of my students, some of my high school girls, in one of my programs, how one girl said she said, I'm on social media all day. She was like, I am on social media all day. She said she is literally glued to her phone, and she's checking social media all day. So we are living in this world where it is not like we don't have the time to work on our goals. It's about finding your time. And I know that it's like, it may be hard, but this is what I say to people all the time. If you give me that excuse of, I don't have the time to work on my goals, and, I'm too busy, and blah, 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 blah. If your job was to ask you to come into work an hour earlier and stay an hour later for the next 2 weeks, you would more than likely do it. You might have a little attitude, but you would do it, right? You would comply. Most of us would. Now, if you can go so hard for your job, right? Why can't you go that hard for yourself? We tend it's like working becomes our God. If your job told you, if school or whatever told you that you were going to stay an hour earlier, you were going to leave an hour later, and maybe you're on salary, so you're not even making more money, right? And you were going to spend more time at work, you would do it. You would comply, and you would schedule everything else around you staying at work an hour later, or coming in an hour earlier, or doing some extra hours on the weekend. You would do it. So if you can find time if you can surround your life around your job, if you can go so hard for your job, then why not go hard for yourself? Jim Rohn, this amazing motivational speaker that you guys should check out, has this amazing quote that says, you can work hard on your job and you'll make a living, but you can go hard on yourself you can go hard for yourself and make a fortune. And I'm such an advocate of that, because I see how we can waste time on a daily basis, and how we can give so much time to working for someone else, or working to pay some bills. But when you get to the end of your life, I always tell people, go to the end of your life. I don't know when that may be. For some of us, it might be sooner than others, and I will not speak that over my life. However, when you get to the end of your life, when you are breathing those last breaths, are you going to be so proud? Are you going to be so excited that you worked hard and you played it safe and you didn't decide to go after your dreams? Or are you going to sit back in those last moments and say, I gave it all I have. I gave it all I got. I know I achieved my life assignment, and I know that I can be happy with the legacy that I'm leaving. A lot of us, especially us millennials, we think that we have more time. Who says that you got more time? Who says that? Nobody knows that fateful day. And I don't want to be one of those people who gets to the end of my life and says, damn, what did I do? All those day-to-day basis. And how was I managing my time? How was I spending my time? So I'm just encouraging you that if you think to yourself that you don't have time, it's not a matter of not having time. It's finding the time in your day to make things happen for you. One of the ways that I love to do this, especially if you feel like your world is too busy and oh my gosh, I don't have time to work on me, is I like to think of that as have a 5 to 9 life. This is what I mean by having a 5 to 9 life. When I used to work at Atlantic Records and I was gainfully employed full time, I already had the vision and the dream of working for myself. Actually, I always knew I was going to end up working for myself because becoming an entrepreneur was always a childhood dream of mine. That was the trajectory my life was going to go on. I didn't know it was going to happen that soon, but it did. However, what I did was I took advantage of the hours that I was not at work. It's like considering yourself a 5 to 9er. It's like you work from 9 to 5 from someone else, but you work from 5 to 9 from yourself. What are you doing when you get off of work? What I would do is I would use those hours when I got off for work, and anybody who knows in the music business know we don't work 9 to 5. It's like from maybe about 10 a.m. to whenever. But when I would get off, I would meet with my web designer. I would use that time to incorporate my business. I would use that time to work on my business plan. I would use that time to research things. I would take the time I had off to work on myself. I was working full-time for someone else, but part-time on me and on my dreams. That's how you have to see it. Until you can work full-time doing what you desire to do, whatever dream it is that you have, consider yourself part-time as working for yourself. So when you get off of work, if you have a goal and you have a desire to start that business, maybe when you get off of work, you work on your business plan. When you get off of work, you set up meetings with people who've done what you want to do so you can glean off of them and see what maybe you can learn from them. Maybe you have an idea that you want to start a new blog. Well, when you get off of work, you post your blog post. You set up your scheduling and you have an editorial calendar of like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. These are the posts I'm going to do this week. Find the time in your daily schedule to incorporate what you want to do by having that 5 to 9 life. When it's like, if you can't go hard for yourself, it doesn't matter how much somebody will inspire you. You got to want it for you. You get what I mean? So and I would also take advantage, another thing that I did, I would take advantage of the hours when I was at work. So this is what I mean. A lot of you work at desk jobs. Some of you don't. Some of you guys, your job, when you get there, you are at work. There is no outside going on. But I see a lot of y'all posting on Facebook all day. I see a lot of y'all commenting to pictures, Instagram and snapping and chatting and all of that. Okay, so that means that whatever you're doing at work, you have a time to post. You have time to comment, right? You're maybe in front of a desk. I would use that time when I was in front of my desk and when business was slow and I knew that my bosses were like, traveling or something. I would hop on the computer and I'd be in front of I think I typed up maybe 50 to 75% of my business plan at that computer. And then I'm at an office, so I would use the resources like faxing and supplies to really get my stuff together. I'm sorry, yeah, I did that, right? So I would use the time while I was at work to work for me. It got to a point because I had gotten so accustomed to the fast-paced life of the music business that nothing fazed me anymore as far as work-wise. I knew how to balance work and me. So I would come to work, and this is another thing I suggest you do. I would have a daily task list of my work goals and then my little personal goals. So I would have something like, I'd write down something like, I actually have them, my old notebooks where I'd write down like email such and such about blog posts. I'd put that on my daily task list for the day of what I was going to do personally for myself for that. I would work like from 10 to 3 on my work stuff, and then for the rest of the day, when I was down and I was nothing to do, and when you're at work and you're just waiting for the clock because you're like, I'm so bored, there's nothing else to do, I would choose that time to get on the net. I am a proud student of Google University. I learned how to incorporate my business, how to get a tax ID, how to open a personal business account. so many different things, creating blog posts, how to manage WordPress, all those things just simply by Googling it while I'm sitting at work. If I'm here and this is my time, your time is the most valuable asset that you have. You can never, once you lose time, you can't get it back. So think of ways in your day-to-day, whether it be 5 to 9, what you're doing when you get off of work, whether it be at work, incorporating things at work. Another thing that a lot of my coworkers did, one of my boys, what he would do at work is he would, when he knew that our bosses were going into like meetings or vacationing, he would use 30 minutes to go to the gym, because our lives in the music business were completely not traditional. We barely had time to ourselves on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, we would get off of work whenever. So he would say, cover for me, and I'd cover for him, and he'd go to the gym for like an hour. Maybe you have a lunch break in your schedule where you can use that 30 minutes. You can use that hour instead of being on Instagram and instead of being on social media. Use that time to write that book. Use that time to go to the gym if one of your goals is to weight an ideal weight. Use that time to work on your business plan. Use that time to study for your real estate class. Use the time that you have in your day when you're not necessarily your downtime to work on your goals. Another way to incorporate what you're doing already into your daily schedule, and this is what I mean. So if you have a goal, let's say one of your things is to get closer to God and to strengthen your faith. Well, in the morning, when you're waking up in the morning, instead of checking your Instagram, instead of, listening to the radio or listen to the news, pop in a podcast. Mine is coming soon. Listen to a podcast, listen to a faith-based channel, have the word playing in your background so that as you are getting dressed, you're multitasking, you're getting dressed, you're getting your hands on, you're brushing your teeth, you're making breakfast, but in the background, you're listening to Joel Osteen, you're listening to Bishop G.D. Jakes, you're listening to the word of God, and you are strengthening your faith, and you're getting closer to God while you're just incorporating a goal into your daily routine. Like, okay, where do I have time? And if you commute to work, if you have that goal, and this is what I mean by finding where works in your daily routine. If you drive to work and you feel like, man, I really need to strengthen my faith. I get that a lot. And you know that I am full of faith, and I'm a believer, and I will teach a lot on believing and faith building here. However, I get that a lot. And let me tell you, the reason why my faith is the way it is because every morning I don't know what's going on in the world. And I check into social media throughout the day, but my background is the word of God. I'm listening to Kenneth Copeland. I'm listening to Joel Osteen. I'm listening to Creflo Dollar. That's what I'm listening to in the morning while I'm getting ready, while I'm answering emails, while I'm doing, that's what's playing in my background. So I'm listening to the word, because one of my goals is always to be in sync with the Lord and have that relationship with him. But I'm incorporating that goal in my daily base and my daily day-to-day. It's nothing changed. It's just my background and just my atmosphere. And little by little, you'll see yourself like, okay, I do feel better. All right, my faith is strengthened because you're feeding your soul and your spirit, and you're incorporating it into your daily basis. Okay, so this is what I mean by finding things instead of like driving to work and listening to, I don't know, whoever you listen to in the morning. Listen to a podcast, listen to an audio listen. If you take the train, if you're in New York City and you're on a train, oh my gosh, anytime I'm on a train, I have podcasts ready that I subscribe to, that I will put on my earphones, and I know I take that time underground, whether it's 20, 30, 40 minutes, to listen to something that is going to help me get closer to my goals. Either it's going to make me better, or it's going to strengthen my faith, or I'm going to learn something. That's another thing that you should also incorporate in your daily routine is making yourself more valuable. You don't get paid for your time. You get paid for your value. So you want to find ways to make yourself more valuable on a daily basis so that you can confidently go after the dreams and the goals that you want. So maybe sometimes working on your goals daily doesn't necessarily have to be a tangible, let me write this blog post, let me take this extra cooking class. Sometimes working on your goals daily may just be, let me do something to invest into myself so that I am becoming more valuable to achieve whatever goal it is that I'm trying to achieve. So let's say, perfect example, one of your goals is to become a motivational speaker. Well, you can take 30 minutes or an hour to get on YouTube, to read a book, to something that's going to sharpen your skill. That is like the low key, the most missing thing that we do in achieving our goals, because everybody wants to get it, right? And we live in such a microwave society, and you want to get it. You want to get your goals, but you want to be prepared for what it is that you're working towards, what it is that you're believing God towards. If you want to make a certain salary, if you desire to be a speaker and make a certain a desired speaking rate, why should people pay you that? Why? Like, why should they pay you $10K for an hour of your time? Make yourself more valuable. And how do you do that? Is doing something every day to make you doper at what you do. When you want to be so dope at what you do that whatever industry you're in, whatever it is that you do, when that industry comes up, somebody already says, oh, I know her. She does makeup. I know her. She's a great motivator for women. I know him. You know, he's a great guitar player. Whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're doing something every day to make sure that you're getting better at what it is that you have been called or created to do. Don't sit around and not invest the time into yourself and then wonder why in another 5 years, not much has changed. It's little by little. Your success is determined by your daily routine. If you tell me what you're doing every day, I can tell you the trajectory that you're on. If every day there's no change in all you're doing, and this is not like to make anybody feel bad, but this is a wake-up call. I'm tired of seeing my people in the same situations. We not out here getting it. And I'm like, we all out here complaining, but why we not out here, being and representing the greatness that we are? So I say all of that to say, do something daily to make sure that you're getting better at what you do. Maybe, I don't know, maybe your goal is to be like an actor or actress. Well, I don't know. Take a class. Take some acting classes. Read some monologues. You want to make sure that you're ready. Don't get ready, stay ready. I took that from someone over the summer, and I was like, you're right. And I had to do a document, like I redid my marketing materials, and I kid you not, within 24 hours, somebody had hit me up randomly and was like, hey, I'm interested in having you come speak. I already had the marketing materials prepared because I was ready, and I already had the workshops prepared because I work on them. In that midst of time where, you're in between clients, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to work on new workshops so that when the new clients do come, I'm ready. You want to make sure that you're doing something every day so that you're ready to achieve those dreams and you're ready to realize those goals. All right. Okay, this is another one that you want to do in order to find time to achieve your goals. And I know it's probably not popular, but it's wake up early. Let me tell you, I read this study that said that wealthy people wake up at least 3 hours ahead from work time. So let's say, I know like the average time for most wealthy people to wake up is like between 5 and 6 a.m. I know Oprah wakes up at 4:30 in the morning. They say Barack wakes up at 6. I'm like 6:45. I'm like, Barack ain't waking up at 6:45. But different success routines include with waking up early. And this is why I'm an advocate for waking up early when you can. When you wake up early, you now are in control of your day. When you wake up late and you're running to work and you can use an extra hour in the morning to get more of your goals done. So let's say you have a goal to exercise and to work out and to weigh your ideal weight. Wake up an hour earlier and get it done. Either go to the gym or put in a YouTube video or something that'll help you get to where you want to be. And I like that example of exercising, because a lot of us have the intention and the desire to be healthy, right? But when you work out at the latter part of your day, there are so many chances that you'll run into excuses or you'll get tired or something will come up. So if you work out and if you find out that time in the morning, that extra hour in the morning to work out, or you take an extra hour in the morning, maybe you have a goal, a financial goal of saving 20% of your monthly income. And you know what? In order to do that, you need to pack your lunch every day or 4 times out the week so that you can save $20 a day. Well, take that extra hour in the morning to prepare your lunch. Take that extra hour in the morning. The reason why I like waking up early in the morning or earlier is that my mornings first go to God. Before I do anything, I don't come out of my bed. I don't do anything without the word of God. I literally have a lift of scriptures and just a routine that I have every morning with it's just me and God, and it takes about 45 minutes. And I like that because it sets my intention for the day. If I'm not right with God, nothing else works. If I'm not okay, nothing else is going to be okay. So instead of like trying to force in my time with God later, and I do have an evening routine of prayer, but I wake up early in the morning to give him his reverence and to give him the best part of me, the first part of my day. I give God the first part of my day, the first part of my week. He gets the first part of my money. He gets first. He's first, right? So take a time in the morning to wake up an hour earlier. There are so many different wealthy people who I've researched. I think Howard Schultz, CEO of Starbucks, I think he wakes up at like 4:30 in the morning. Richard Branson, I think he wakes up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And these are routines that you start before you become successful. What a lot of us want to do, this is what we want. We want to wait until our circumstances change so that we can be great. So you're not going to give your job your best. You're not going to give your life your best because, you're waiting until you get the better job. You're waiting until you get the better opportunity. But sometimes our circumstances won't change until we change. You're waiting for your circumstances to change, but them circumstances happen so that they can change you. And until you change yourself, you're going to keep going around the same mountain over and over and over again until you learn the lesson. Sometimes you just got to learn how to be great in the midst of all of that. That's what your circumstances and your challenges may come to squeeze greatness out of you. But if you're waiting until you get the ideal job, if you're waiting to get, all the 100,000s of clients and you're waiting to have that multi-million-dollar salary before you can be excellent, then excellence is just going to go to the next person. Because you want to make sure that you get into a place where you sustain your success. Anybody could be talented. There's a whole bunch of talented people out here who can become successful. But what happens is their character couldn't keep them where their talent took them. This is all character development. You learning how to be disciplined on a day-by-day basis. Learning how to eliminate distractions. Learning how to not text people back. That's another time management technique. Single handling. When you will just sit there like what I do, and I had to implement it today because I was being distracted, where you don't answer emails, you don't answer texts, you don't do anything until you complete whatever task it is that you have at hand. So while you're at work, maybe you do have time at work to work on your own little goals. Like I said, I used to do on the side, but you get easily distracted. You pick up any phone call. You answer every text. You know how much time, if I were here and I was answering emails, how much time I'd be wasting instead of just focusing, singling in on what I need with the task that needs to get done. So whatever goal you're working in on, whether it be at work or whether like I said, you have 5 to 9 life in your home, and you're going to read for 45 minutes. You're gonna, watch YouTube videos for an hour. You're gonna, take the culinary class. You're gonna work on 3 blog posts. You're gonna do something, whatever it is that your goals are, right? You should time each activity. So that's another thing. Like, sometimes and some days, like, I'll be like, okay, from 9 to 10, you're going to answer emails. From 10 to 11, you're going to work on this project. From 11 to 12, you're going to do this. From 12 to 12:30, you're going to take a break. And I've had to learn that. I've had to schedule my day like that, because if I don't, sometimes I'll get distracted and the day will go by and you end up at the end of the day, you're like, what did I get done? Because you spent 4 hours on that project at work when you could have spent an hour, but you were distracted and you were doing too many things at once, okay? So, 2 more points that I want to share just in my notes that I see here are what I've done to help me learn how to manage my time and spend more time on my goals is, and even like I said before, these are practices I've implemented for years now. I plan my week on Sunday. Plan your week on Sunday. You should take at least 15 minutes to yourself on Sunday. Instead of lamenting that Monday is going to happen in 24 hours, I do something called goal setting Sundays on Sunday. Actually, I do it on Saturday nights or Sundays. But I take time on Sundays to write out my action steps for the week. I have big goals. I set my goals for the year, right? So I have goals for the year and I have goals for the month in accordance with the big vision that I have for myself and my life. You define what success means to you, what vision that you have for your life, what are your goals for the next 12 to 16 months, and a strategy to achieve those goals. I teach more about that on embraceherlegacy.com/slay goals, and you can get my class on that. But I follow my goals for the year, and on Sundays I sit down with myself, and you should ask yourself, all right, what action steps am I going to take towards my goals this week? Every week, every Sunday, sit down with yourself and ask, all right, what if I need to pay debt? If one of my big goals is to pay off, my debt, well, this week, maybe one action step that I can do is call my creditors and get on a payment plan. If one of my big goals for the next 12 to 16 months is to quit my job so I could work for myself, maybe this week I will research incorporating a business, or I will, buy a domain name for my website. You want to take time on Sundays to ask yourself and write it down. Write down your action steps for the week. I take it a next further, and before my next day begins, so on Sunday, I'll write my task list for Monday at the end or on Sunday. And I look at what I said I was going to get done this week, and on Monday, when I wake up, today's Monday, wake up Monday morning, I already knew what I needed to get done this week. Today, I'm like, okay, I said I was going to do this week, this week, this, I need to do this, that, and the third. So before you end your day, you should already be having your action steps or your task list for the next day at hand. Whether you're going into work, whether you're going into working for yourself, you should never start a day without some sort of direction on which direction your day should go. When you do that, you're just letting life happen to you. You're just like, okay, I'm just going to do this, and that. No, prioritize your day. And you're like, okay, I know I need to get this done. And I need to know. And the way you prioritize, if you don't get something done today, it's going to be a problem in a week, then you know that you need to be doing that first. So look at your task list and ask yourself, all right, what do I need to get done today? What did I say I was going to get done this week? Okay, so today I'm going to do this, that, and the third. This is actually my notebook that I have in front of me with all my action steps and all that and my goals. So write it out. At the end of today is to Monday. To write what you're going to get done tomorrow. Write it to a task list. All right, what's going to be on your task list for you to get done according to your goals, and when are you going to get it done? Are you going to wake up in the early morning? Are you going to do it at lunch? Are you going to do it after work? Are you going to, go to sleep maybe an hour or two later working on it? What are you going to do? Okay? And then, let me see which one. I'm going to share one last one. I'm not going to share everything. All right, delete. And then just do this daily. Do this every day, like every day. Keep on doing it little by little. Those big successes, those like, okay, look at me, Penguin House then picked up my book, and now I'm a published author, and I'm going to be New York Times #1 best-selling author. Those things are preceded by small daily successes, little things that you do. You got to take your big goals and break them down into little goals. I did this. I actually have a podcast that I'm developing and working on, and I had that big goal, and I had to break it down into little goals. Okay, Maria, find out, Google how to start a podcast. Get the materials. This is what you need to do. All right, so now today you're going to record 1 episode. Okay, email this person because you want this person to be a guest on your show. All right, find out how to record the interview. Now you find out how to upload it. Now you find out how to get an intro and an outro. It's literally a big goal, and just breaking it down little by little so that you can achieve whatever goal that is. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm literally a few weeks from releasing this podcast, but that came after daily working on it for a while now. Okay, so this is all about creating a daily routine in order to make sure that you're working on your goals. So real quick recap. You want to think of yourself as a 5 to 9er. If you feel like you have too much going on, and you may even want to take a snapshot of where you are right now and say to yourself, what do I need to change? All right, so take them hours when you get off of work. I know when you get off of work, the last thing you want to do is you're like so tired, but I've been there, done that. Like, I know how that feels. So take the time when you get off of work to say, all right, cool, what am I going to get done today? You know, I'm going to use these next 3, 4, maybe even if it's just 2 hours or 1 hour to work on myself, all right? We talked about understanding this concept from Jim Rohn. If you could work hard in your job, you'll make a living. But if you work hard in yourself, you'll make a fortune. Make the decision to work on yourself and go hard for you. If you don't go hard for you, who else will? Okay. I talked about that issue with TV and social media. On average, the average American is spending 6 hours a day on TV and 3 hours a day on social media. Imagine if you just shaved 2 of those hours. Girl, you could write you can write that novel in 2 months. You get what I mean? I talked about identifying where you can incorporate some of your goals into your daily schedule. So I said taking advantage of the downtimes at work, lunchtime, after work, waking up early, right? And using what you already have in motion to apply some goals, like, you know, using things like your commute to work, and using things like waking up early and all that jazz, okay? We talked about using your off hours, which is 9 to 5. And then I talked about waking up early and creating a daily task list, and using Sundays to work on your week, so you can find daily time when to work on your goals. And another thing, eliminate distractions. Sometimes distractions are social media. Sometimes distractions are people. You are going into a new year. Let me tell you, you can tell a lot about yourself by who you spend the most time with, okay? That is a whole nother post. I love my tribe of women. Like, I am really selective over that, and I don't play, you know. And a lot of you maybe just need to, like, you know, maybe one of the ways to find time to work on your goals is to eliminate some distractions and get focused on what you need to get focused on. Not everybody's meant to make it. Not everybody's meant to make it to the end. Some people, you know, you gotta know what to expect from certain people. So if that's something for you, maybe that's a distraction that you need to eliminate, is eliminate some people, you know. Maybe you spending too much time on that group chat when you know you need to be spending some time studying or whatever it is, working on your goals, building that cake business, I don't know. All right, so if you like what you see, I have, let me see, can you see that? I think you can. I don't know if it's backwards, but if you go to embraceherlegacy.com/slay goals, that's the big one. I actually have a goal, the top one, I'm sorry. I actually have a goal slaying one-on-one class, and it's super, super, super inexpensive. You can just download and listen to an audio lesson where I go step by step on how to, actually it's 7 steps to achieve your goals. I kind of touched on briefly on some of them right now. And then if you need more help in learning how to create your success routine, I didn't want to give it all away here. You can also download another class I have at embraceherlegacy.com/routine, right? So those are the goals. You guys can take a snapshot of that. Those are the classes I mean. One is to help you create your daily success routine. And two, the Goal Slaying 101 class is 7 steps to achieve your goals. So those are classes that you can take. You can listen to their audio. So you can like listen to me while you're on the train going to work, or, you know, pop me in, you know, the car, and you can listen to me on your commute to work. I don't know, whatever you want to do. Listen to me at lunch. Listen to me before you go to sleep. Whatever it is, take the time if you really want to go in and learn more strategies and time management techniques. It was backwards. I'm sorry. Do I have a... No, I don't have it. I'm sorry. But it's embraceherlegacy.com / right? Slay, SLAY, goals, GOALS. So it's my website, embraceherlegacy.com / slay, SLAY, goals, GOALS. And then the other one is embraceherlegacy.com / routine. embraceherlegacy.com / routine. All right, guys, so I hope that was something educational, inspirational, something motivational for you on this New Method Monday. I might be on here another day this week. I feel it in the spirit to teach something else on developing your tribe and really honing in on developing dope relationships to get you where you want to be. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, please go to embraceherlegacy.com and just go to the classes section too, and you can find all my classes there too. And I hope you guys have a great night.